Students, I wanted to take hopefully 5 minutes or less to give you a little video support for the leadership reflection assignment. This is one of the 3 assignments that's kind of outside the normal module work that we've established in the course. But this is what I'm calling the leadership reflection assignment. I've got just a couple of slides that maybe with my voice will provide some more support to you than just the written assignment sheet. So as far as an overview, there really are 3 parts to this activity. I've posted a handful of articles in this first module, and I think those are the ones that might be most useful to you as far as this reflective assignment. But I would expect to see some use of the posted articles, so some citations when you submit the final reflection for this activity. We use APA in the College of Ed, so if you're not familiar with that, please learn enough to know how to cite some of the articles. I am allowing you to limit yourself to what I have posted in the class. Normally I would expect you to go out and find some additional articles, but for our purposes of having a short time this summer, you're welcome to use and limit yourself just to the articles that I've posted. So part 1 would be to read the posted articles, particularly in Module 2, and those would inform you in some way when you get to your final reflective commentary. A second element would be to interview a current leader, assistant principal, principal, somebody in a leadership role. If you look at the assignment sheet, which is posted in the Dropbox, I've offered some suggested questions for you to ask the leader, but you're also welcome to ask some questions that are of interest to you or that are unique to you. A third thing, in addition to reading the articles and interviewing a current leader, would be go ahead and post, after you've done the interview with the leader. In Module 2, we have a discussion forum established for leader interview themes. I'm interested, and I hope the rest of you are interested, to see if we have common themes from the leaders that we've interviewed. Obviously, we're reaching out with all the students in the class into practicing leaders. It would be useful for us all to see if there's some commonality in what they're saying with respect to values and opportunities and important elements of educational leadership. And then, of course, you're writing I think the assignments say 5 pages or less. You're writing a summative kind of a reflection as the final piece of that. So I guess this might really have 4 parts if you want to consider the final written reflection as one of those parts. What are we trying to get out of this assignment? One of the things is going to be very personal to you. We want you to be thinking about the values that are important to you. As you assume a leadership position, there's a lot of responsibility that goes along with that for you to use that position to support students and for the betterment of the school in general. So I think it's a good activity for every leader or potential leader, aspiring leader, to be thinking about what's really important to you. You know, for example, you might say, always having the students in the forefront of my mind when I make decisions is a value that is important to me, just as a for example, or trying to collaborate or involve staff in decisions is a value that I have, so I'll always try to do that type of thing. So part of this is going to be personal in terms of you as a person and how you translate what's important to you into what you think is right or correct or best in terms of your leadership behavior. Another element of what we are hoping to get out of this is that as we identify the themes that may emerge from the leaders, that we in fact will be identifying some of the best practices. So that would be a second objective. And a third objective, there is a distinction between leading and managing. To be an effective administrator, you need to be able to do both of those to some degree. So we're not saying that one is better than the other, and we do acknowledge that all of us are probably better at one of those than the other. There's not that many administrators, school leaders that are actually very effective at both leading and managing, because they are a different set of skills. But part of the assignment here also is for you to be making that distinction and also personalizing it to the extent about which of those are your strength areas and perhaps areas where you could be a growth area for a next step. So the last thing I just wanted to share with you, there's a detailed assignment sheet in the Dropbox, and it also includes a scoring rubric, so obviously you need to read that and study that. But when you think about the assessment, there's a three-part rubric for this. There's an expectation that you offer evidence that you reflected. There's evidence that needs to be offered that you used the article, that you didn't have this be 100% your opinion, that it's based to some extent on what we find in the literature. And then there's a third element to assessment. Obviously, it needs to be presented in such a way that it's understandable, readable, that there's some coherence to what you're saying. So again, this was meant to simply reinforce what's probably provided in better detail in the assignment sheet on the Dropbox. I hope you enjoy this. I think it's always interesting to hear what our leaders in the field are saying and trying to determine if we do, in fact, have some obvious themes that are emerging from our actual administrators in the field. So I hope you enjoy the assignment, and good luck completing it.